Om-Akyanatimanasyantinam Sakshamritamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Sitchaitanya-manobishtam stapitam Vena Bhutaleshvam Rabhakadamyam Dadati Svam Padantikam Vandeyam Shiyo Shiyudapadakamanam Shiram Vaishnavamsha Shirupam Jagajatam Saganargnutam Tam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganalita Shivishakam Vitamsa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Chatpate Kopesha Koprakanta Radhakanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gauri Radhe Vrindavaneshwaram Vishvana Sutadevi Pranamama Harpe Vankha Kalpta Vishakri Pasim Vriksha Patnam Pavanbhyo Vaishnavyo Namah Hare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavana Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharini Nirvishesha Srinyavati Paskataya Dasatarani Srila Prabhupada Ki. So, we are continuing with the Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 42, Breaking the Bow, verses 22 till 38 today. Most texts don't have purport. There are a few purports from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And one purport at the end by Srila Prabhupada that so we heard last time how Krishna entered Mathura after he sent Akrura home. So we glanced over the ladies of Mathura who were very eager to see him. They dropped everything just to see Krishna. Then after that he was received by the Brahmins. And then we had the unfortunate story of the washerman that but then a tailor came to a weaver to offer ornaments and to put the clothes in the right size that Krishna and Balaram and the cowherd boys, and then Krishna and Balaram went to Sudan, the florist, who offered Krishna and Balaram beautiful garlands. And then from there he met Kupcha, an expansion of Satyavan, who represented this earth which was suffering under exploitation of all these demoniac kings, and she offered ointment, fragments of the earth, and invited Krishna. And there was some humoristic conversation, at least. The cowherd boys were laughing, thinking Krishna rejected the proposal of Kupcha, but Kupcha understood that Krishna accepted the invitation, and that will come later. And then, after that, Krishna inquired about where is the bow. And that's the point where we are. That where Krishna broke the bow. We heard about the story. How Kamsa got the bow. And he killed all these soldiers sent by Kamsa. Text 22. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Tayostadaptubam Viryam Nisamya Puravasina Techa Paralbhyam Rupam Cha Manire Vibhudottama. Having witnessed the amazing deed Krishna and Balaram had performed, and seeing their strength, boldness and beauty, the people of the city thought, this must be two prominent demigods. So we heard the last session 2 days ago, how from the Garga Samhita, how Kamsa got the bow from Parasuram, and Parasuram said, whoever breaks this bow of Lord Vishnu will kill you. So we have just heard how Krishna broke the bow. So now we will hear about all the bad omens observed or seen by Kamsa. Text 23, 24. As they strolled about at will, the sun began to set. So they left the city with the coward boys and returned to the cowards' wagon encampment. So they went back to where all the coward boys and Nanda Maharaj were camping. At the time of Mukunda's or Krishna's departure from Vrindavan, the gopis had foretold that the residents of Mathura would enjoy many benedictions, and now the gopis' predictions were coming true, for those residents were gazing upon the beauty of Krishna, the jewel in man. Indeed, the gods of fortune desired the shelter of that beauty so much that she abandoned many other men, although they worshipped her. So, the Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains why Sukadev Goswami put in this verse 24 that we just heard. That read the comment of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. When Krishna left Vraj for Mathura, the gopis predicted, it will be an auspicious morning for the women of Mathura, but a morning filled with sorrow for us. The blessings of their priests have borne fruit, and the blessings of ours have failed. When Krishna enters the city, they will taste with their glances the sweetness of his moon-like face and his sweet smiles. And now the comment why Sukadev Goswami put in this verse. Sukadev Goswami, being of the same emotional state as the gopis, emotional state, rasa, was overcome with sorrow due to the remembrance of their separation from Krishna. So he reminded Parikshit of the gopis' previous condition by describing it again in this verse. Because Sukadev Goswami is one of the pagods in Vrindavan, the communication system set up by Vrinda Devi. It's very dear to Srimad Radharani, so it thinks of the gopis. That's what Srila Vishwanath Bhakti says here. So when Krishna was leaving for Mathura, the gopis gave the following blessing. Today the women of Mathura will enjoy the highest happiness that we should enjoy. Now that has come true, as the women of Mathura gaze at Krishna's gorgeous body. How could this not come true? The word Shri refers to all the beauty in the three worlds and to the presiding deity of all beauty. Desiring the shelter of the beauty of those limbs in order to make herself more beautiful, since Krishna's limbs are the ornament of all ornaments, Bhusana Bhusanangam, the goddess of all beauty of the three worlds, gave up all other men, although they worshipped her. The incredible beauty of Krishna's body is characterized by the word Ayanam, which means the shelter of all beauty, both mundane and transcendental. So Sukadeva Goswami is reminding all of us of the suffering of the gopis, the suffering and separation that so it came actually in the mind of Krishna. When he first saw Akrura, he was smiling externally, but internally he was feeling great sorrow. He was thinking of the suffering of the Braja Gopikas, and was missing Braj when he came to this city. So that's the other side. Krishna also felt separation from residents of Vrindavan. Now we will read text 25. After Krishna's and Balaram's feet were bathed, the two lords ate rice with milk. They although knowing what Kamsa intended to do, they spent the night there comfortably. So that's I read the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on this point. After having their feet washed by some servants, Krishna and Balaram ate rice sprinkled with milk. The milk came from some of Krishna's favorite cows in Vraj, with 1-year-old calves with Mother Yasoda, which Mother Yasoda has placed on top of the wagon in a pot meant for the sacrificial fire. Because they were fearless, Krishna and Balaram slept soundly, though knowing that the next day Kamsa wanted to kill them. Due to being fast asleep, Krishna and Balaram did not hear the words of their father, Nanda Maharaj, who could not sleep the entire night due to fear. Nanda Maharaj said, "O my children, what have you foolishly done today? Why did you break the bowl they were worshipping and then kill the guards? I do not know what angry Kamsa will do tomorrow. Alas, alas, why have I brought these two young boys here from the cowherd village?" Nanda Maharaj was worried. But Krishna and Balaram were sleeping soundly, but Nanda Maharaj was in anxiety. So that is what happened in the encampment outside the city. Meanwhile, the next two verses explain what is happening in the palace of King Kamsa. What's happening in King Kamsa's parts? It's 26, 27. Wicked King Kamsa, on the other hand, was terrified, having heard how Krishna and Balaram had broken the bow and killed his guards and soldiers, all simply as a game. He remained awake for a long time, and both while awake and while dreaming, he saw many bad omens, messengers of death. That it is 6:27. Yeah. So Vishwanath, right? After hearing that the killing of his guard and troops was merely the sport of Krishna and Balaram, and not any display of prowess, Kamsa saw many signs like messengers of his impending death, both while awake and sleeping. That Shridhar, yeah, this is comment of Shridhar Swami. Interesting. He writes, "Here is an owl flapping his wings with golden eyes and steel-colored face. He has come as the messenger of the Rakshasas." So, more inauspicious omens in verses 28 to 31. So, by the way, if you see some of these omens described in these verses, means you are going to die soon. Just for your information. Text 28 till 31. When he looked at his reflection, he could not see his head. For no reason the moon and stars appeared double. He saw a hole in his shadow. He could not hear the sound of his live air. Trees seemed covered with a golden dew, and he could not see his footprints. He dreamt that he was being embraced by ghosts, riding on a donkey and drinking poison, and also that a naked man smeared with oil was passing by wearing a garland of Nalada flowers. Seeing these and other such omens, both while dreaming and while awake, Kamsa was terrified by the prospect of death, and out of anxiety he could not sleep. So let's see what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says on this. The inauspicious omens are explained in 3 verses. Though Kamsa saw his reflection in the mirror, the reflection was headless. The moon and other planets appeared double, for no apparent reason. There were holes in his shadow. He could not hear his heartbeat, prana ghosha, when covering his ears with his palms, nor see his footprints in the dust or mud. Trees appeared golden in color. So these omens were perceived in Kamsa's waking state. Kamsa saw these omens in his dreams, ghosts embracing him, riding a donkey, drinking poison, and a naked man covered in oil passing and wearing a garland of java flowers. In this way Kamsa saw many astonishing things both in waking and sleeping states. So even before that, Kamsa was always thinking of Krishna and Balaram. But of course, it is not anukulyena, it is pratikulyena, unfavorable Krishna consciousness. The Java flower is hibiscus flowers. That text 32. When the night had finally passed and the sun rose up again from the water, Kamsa set about arranging for the grand wrestling festival. That is 32. Vihe-Bhaktivedanta Thakur writes, when the night broke and the sun rose from the water, refers to Vedic verse Sa udagan maton navat vibrat shamana salilas yamatyat samafishabo loitaksa suryo vipashin manasa punatu. May the red-eyed, most excellent, omniscient sun rising up from the great ocean purify the universe. So that's text 32. Now we will read the rest of the verses till the end. But the king's men performed the ritual worship of the wrestling arena, sounded their drums and other instruments, and decorated the viewing galleries with garlands, flags, ribbons, and arches. The city dwellers and the residents of the outlying districts, led by the Brahmins and Kshatriyas, came and sat down comfortably in the galleries. The royal guests received special seats. Surrounded by his ministers, Kamsa took his seat on the imperial dais, but even as he sat amidst his various provincial rulers, his heart trembled. While the musical instruments loudly played in the rhythmic meters appropriate for wrestling matches, the lavishly ornamented wrestlers proudly entered the arena with their coaches and sat down. Enthused by the pleasing music, Chanura, Mustika, Kuta, Sala, and Toshau sat down on the wrestling mat. Last verse. Nanda Maharaj and the other cowards, summoned by the king of the Bhojas, presented him with their offerings and then took their seats in one of the galleries. According to Srila Vihe-Bhaktivedanta Thakur, the word Samauta indicates that King Kamsa respectfully called the leaders of Vraj forward so that they could make their offerings to the central government. According to the Acharya, Kamsa assured Nanda as follows: my dear King of Vraj, you are the most important of my village rulers. Yet even though you have come to Mathura from your coward village, you have not come to visit me. Is that because you are frightened? Don't think your two sons are bad because they broke the bow. I invited them here because I heard they were extremely powerful, and I've arranged this wrestling match as a test of their strength. So please come forward without hesitation. Don't be afraid. Srila Vihe-Bhaktivedanta Thakur further states that Nanda Maharaj noticed his two sons were not present, apparently out of disrespect for King Kamsa's order. They had taken the morning off and gone elsewhere. Thus Kamsa delegated some of the coward men to go look for. To go look for them and advise them to behave properly and come back to the wrestling arena. The Acharya also states that the reason Nanda Maharaj and the coward man sat in the galleries was that they could not find any sitting places on the royal dais. Thus ends the purpose of the humble servants of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. That's 10th canto, 42nd chapter, the breaking of the sacrificial bowl. So Krishna and Balaram are very confident. They don't care about Kamsa's order. They broke his vow. Of course, they will come to the wrestling arena. We will hear about that soon. And now Krishna will appear for different people, differently for different people in the arena. We will see that. So now this chapter is finished. I see that the schedule is a little differently organized than when we had the course 10 years ago, because this whole chapter was formally discussed in one lesson. So therefore I propose that we start already the next chapter, because it's merely the story, the bad omens, and so on. Mother Kasturica, so please speak.
Maharaj, I have two questions if it's okay to ask now.
Okay.
Yeah, first question is, in the spiritual world we hear there is also the Dwaraka, Mathura and Goloka Vrindavan. So are these pastimes are happening in the Mathura over there as well? Or are these pastimes happening in Mathura in the spiritual world, the same pastimes? Or is it Lord is just performing as Vasudeva? That's one.
Yeah. In the spiritual world there is no killing of demons, only rumors of demons. That in Goloka Vrindavan, Krishna does not leave Vrindavan. So that's quite different. But there are rumors of demons, but it's never any killing as far as I know. Also in Vaikuntha there is no killing. So, interesting question. Which of the Dwarka pastimes are going on in Vaikuntha? In Vaikuntha you can read in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Krishna is a planet there, where Dwarka, where everyone is in the mood of our reference, but also Aishvarya, opulence. So that is there. But I never heard of any demon of killing. So it seems this person of Kamsa is part of Krishna's earthly pastimes. Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj. I have another question, if it's okay.
Okay.
We always discuss that bhakti should be anukulina, favorably disposed towards Krishna. But Krishna is also known as apapa shuddham, that anything that comes in contact with him gets purified. So why this unfavorable bhakti doesn't turn into favorable bhakti?
Well, the point here is that because he was inimical, Kamsa, he did not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So to have a relationship with Krishna, You must accept and understand who Krishna is. You have to know who Krishna is. But Kamsa did not accept that. He was still thinking, I can kill Krishna, and so on. But by his contact, like you rightly said, Krishna is Bprs. So he became purified, but still he did not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, but by his contact with Krishna, he became purified, and therefore he got liberation. Liberation. That in personal pramam, that's my understanding. That he could not go into the spiritual world because he had no love for Krishna. And that's the price you have to pay. Yeah, that's interesting. Kamsa was in a previous life Kalanemi. Yeah, so another big story.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes, Mother Prabhupada Priya, please speak.
I was surprised to see how Nanda Maharaj has a totally different mood towards Kamsa than what Krishna has. You see how Krishna just very peacefully goes to sleep without any fear, but Nanda Maharaj has a sleepless night because he's very afraid of what Kamsa is going to do to them the next day. It's almost the opposite. Kamsa is also having a sleepless night, wondering what Krishna is going to do to him the next day. Nanda Maharaj is having a sleepless night, knowing worried about how Kamsa is going to punish them. And then Krishna, the next morning, Krishna is completely disregard for Kamsa's arrangements, and he just goes off and does his own thing in the morning. And Nanda Maharaj is there, fearing him and offering him yogurt and ghee and cloth and gold coins for his pleasure. So it's interesting that the father and the son have such different attitudes. And especially that Nanda Maharaj is so fearful, because we always hear that Krishna takes away the fear of his pure devotees. And the prayer that we sing in the morning at Mangalarti in Vrindavan, Vivavari Shesha, it says, Braja Jana Paya Hari. That takes away the fear specifically of the inhabitants of Braj. So, could you explain that a little more, please?
Well, Nanda Maharaj is Sai Baba, his relationship with Krishna is, I'm the father and he's my son. And how deep this Sai Baba is, we will learn in chapter 47. Chapter 47, because Uddhav will see how Nanda Maharaj Yasoda suffers so much because Krishna is Mathuram. And he thinks, yes, if I'm telling them that who Krishna really is, Supreme Personality of Godhead, then their prema will come down and their suffering will be less, and they will understand that Krishna is the all-powerful Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Uddhav started to preach to Nanda Maharaj, and he says to Nanda Maharaj, look, Krishna is a Paramatma in everyone's heart. He's all-pervading. This is your son. He's the source of everything. And so he's in your heart, so there is no question of separation. And he's Lord Narayan. And what was the reaction of Nanda Maharaj? Nanda Maharaj says to Uddhav, "You are much younger than me, and I forgive you. I forgive your foolish talk." That, yes, Gargamuna had also suggested that is equal to Narayan, but it's not Narayan. My son Krishna is a liar, and Lord Narayan cannot be, never lies. That, and he steals butter. He's stealing. So how can he be Narayan? That it's impossible. So Uddhav's attempt to bring his prema down it didn't work. His taiva, his relationship with Krishna is fixed, and nothing is going to interfere with that. And the same, and he came to Mathura, and that remains. Krishna is my son. He has done a foolish thing. He has broken his bow and killed all this soldier. So what will Kamsa do to him? He's worried. So this is his taiva, and that's so wonderful. He's the eternal parent of Krishna, that eternal father in the spiritual world. Krishna is only one father and one mother. The post is taken, so Devaki and Krishna, with the Devaki and Vasudev are expansions of Nanda Maharaj, Mother Yasoda. But they are expansions in Vaikuntha, in reference. So that's wonderful to see. This is Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya is restricting the consciousness of the residents of the spiritual world in Goloka Vrindavan in such a way that they accept Krishna only favorable for their rasa, and that's it. And that's very special. We will hear more about that in chapter 47. Does that help to understand that?
Yeah, I guess it's just the point about Krishna taking away the fear of his devotees. Yeah. But it seems that Nanda Maharaj's his paternal rasa kind of is so strong that it overrides that. Is that the point that you're making?
Yeah, that's true. That's also the observation of Uddhav. When Uddhav sees Mother Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj in separation, and Mother Yasoda is crying, that's Nanda Maharaj has his head down. And then Uddhav says something very surprising. He says, "I'm very happy to see you in that condition." So what does that mean? Our Acharya explains these feelings of separation, so-called suffering, is the highest ecstatic experience of happiness and joy. But we take it as material suffering. But on the spiritual platform, it's only an emotion that helps to increase the prema and the ecstasy. That's so. And Nanda Maharaj is in that ecstatic mood of feeling anxiety. So, and it's difficult for us to grasp that, because suffering for us has another meaning. That we think that the body and the suffering we can undergo in the mind and so on, but it's not applicable to them. Does that help?
Yes, so I guess we could conclude that Nandaraj's fear is not ordinary fear like materialistic people feel, but it's his ecstasy.
It's
into his
spiritual
relationship.
anxiety, yes. Yes. But thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Avinash Maturko,
Hare Krishna Maharaj,
Hare
please
Krishna,
accept my humble
accept
obeisances.
my humble obeisance, Srila Prabhupada.
Well, there's this question that why Lord Krishna broke the bow. So yesterday I think we had discussed one is could be a sort of war tactics that you instill fear in the heart of Kansa at breaking the bow, and there is also this prediction by Lord Parshuram, whosoever breaks the bow will kill Kansa. But apart from these two, there's can we say there is some other reason why which you can state that that is the reason for is breaking the bow.
Yeah, the reason for breaking the bow we mentioned yesterday, because Parasuram predicted, whoever breaks this bow of Lord Vishnu will kill you. That so when Kamsa heard it, he became very afraid. That was, a warning of Krishna to Kamsa, so that he knew what to be expected. There may be other reasons why Krishna broke the bow. But it was the vow of Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is an expansion of Krishna. That so he only could break the bow. Of course, there are other reasons. By doing that, it was a bow which could only be lifted by 100 men or 1,000 men, I don't know. They could not lift it. And Krishna easily lifted it, like he lifted Govardhan. So that shows his Supreme Personality of Godhead, that he showed his superhuman side here. He's showing I'm not an ordinary human being. That's also another reason why he was showing it. That and then there's the killing of all these soldiers. That so many soldiers, and Krishna and Balaram easily handled them. That so that's another warning to Kamsa. That so Kamsa was assured by hearing all this, my death is coming near. He knew it. The prediction that the 8th side would kill him will come true very soon. That so there may be other reasons. That is the reasons I remember. But so the right happiness to
Yes, thank you, Maharaj.
yeah. So we go back to Mother Prabhupada Priya.
I was just doing a little analysis on this pastime based on what we've been learning in the Nectar of Devotion about the stimuluses for ecstatic love and the Vibhavas and Anubhavas and Sattvika Bhavas and all that. And I was thinking that the impetus or the Vibhava here is Krishna's breaking the bow and killing the guards, and then the Anubhava or the voluntary reaction, the voluntary expression of Nanda Maharaj is that he first chastises Krishna and Balaram for being mischievous, although they don't hear it, and then he offers things to Kamsa to try to pacify him. And The next thing is the Sattvika Bhava. The involuntary reaction is that, he's maybe trembling, he can't sleep at night, and the emotion is worry or fear, the Vyabhicharani Bhav. And then all those things combine to nourish the Sthayi Bhav of Vatsalya Rasa and create that taste of particular flavor of love for Krishna that Nanda Maharaj experiences. That's what we've been studying, Nectar Devotion, so I just wanted to share that with students.
But of course, the Sattvika Bhav is not applicable to Kamsa. Kamsa was not situated in love of God. But
no, I was doing it for Nanda Maharaj.
For Nanda Maharaj, okay, yes. Yeah, Nanda Maharaj. But you can, anything you can do about it. Nice analysis, thank you for sharing.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, can you give us a distinction between omens and dreams?
So, say that again.
Can you give us a distinction between omens and dreams? Omen.
Omens are signs, bad, yeah. Signs, you have good omens, bad omens. That's also described in the Mahabharata, in other scriptures. All kind of omens. If a car passes at your right side, that's auspicious. Your left side is not so auspicious. And also if the trembling of a male of his right arm predicts some calamity is going to come. Yeah, these things are all described in the scriptures. So many omens, but here these are bad omens. But when Krishna appeared, the Rohini constellation was very favorable, and so many auspicious things started to happen. But so there are bad omens and good omens. By that we can understand something that's going to happen in the near future. I'm not an expert in it, but a devotee depends on Krishna. Good or bad, it's Krishna's mercy. That's another disposition. So that's what I could say about it. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Something else? But, otherwise, we could start already the next chapter, chapter 43. Krishna kills the elephant Kuvalaya Pida. I will first read the summary. It's one page. Then we have an idea what the chapter is about. This chapter tells how Lord Krishna killed the lordly elephant Kuvalaya Pida, how Krishna and Balaram entered the wrestling arena, and what Krishna said to the wrestler Chanura. After finishing their early morning rituals, Krishna and Balaram heard kettle drums heralding the start of the wrestling match, and they went to see the festivities. At the gate of the wrestling arena, they encountered an elephant named Kuvalaya Pida, who attacked Krishna at the urging of his keeper. The mighty elephant grabbed at Krishna with his trunk, but the Lord struck back and then disappeared from the beast's side among his legs. Enraged at not being able to see Krishna, Kuvalaya Pida sought him out with his sense of smell, and seized him. But the Lord pulled loose. In this way, Krishna teased and tormented Kuvalayapida, finally yanking out one of his tusks and beating him and his keepers to death. Sprinkled with the elephant's blood and carrying one of his tusks, one on his shoulder as a weapon, Lord Krishna appeared unprecedentedly beautiful as he entered the wrestling arena. There the various classes of people saw him in different ways, according to their specific relationship with him. When King Kamsa heard how Krishna and Balaram had killed Kuvalayapida, he realized they were invincible and became filled with anxiety. The members of the audience, on the other hand, became joyful as they reminded one another about the Lord's amazing pastimes. The people declared that Krishna and Balaram must be two expansions of the Supreme Lord Narayan, who had descended in the house of Vasudeva. Chanura then stepped forward and challenged Krishna and Balaram to wrestle, saying King Kamsa wished to see such a match. Krishna replied, although we are merely nomadic forest folk, we are nonetheless subjects of the king. Thus, we will not hesitate to please him with an exhibition of wrestling. As soon as Chanura heard this, he suggested that Krishna should wrestle him and Balaram would wrestle with Mustika. In fact, there are 5 wrestlers, and Chanura, Mustika are the main ones. That they are brothers. And maybe we can leave the details of this chapter for tomorrow, but I was thinking maybe I can tell you something about the past life of these wrestlers. That I think let's see. Yes, we will go deep in this story. Yeah. So how did Kamsa get these wrestlers? The Ganga Samhita will tell us. Garga Samhita. One time, being very proud of the strength of his arms and eager to fight, Kamsa went along to Mahishmati. So Kamsa wanted to fight and he went to Mahishmati. Chanura, Mustika, Kuta, Shala and Toshal were the sons of the king of Mahishmati. And they were wrestlers who were very eager to defeat their opponents. So his 5 brothers were the sons of the king of Mahishmati. Kamsa said, let us fight. And Kamsa said, if you win, then I become your servant. And if I win, I will keep you always as my servant. So these great wrestlers agreed. So when Chanura rushed at Kamsa, he made a great sound and threw him to the ground. When Mustika rushed at him with ferocious punches, with one punch, Kamsa knocked him to the ground. Then when Kuta rushed at him, Kamsa knocked him to the ground and grasped his feet and violently threw him into the sky. When Chala, waving his arms, rushed at him, Kamsa took him at his arm and pulled him down and dragged him about. Next, Kamsa grabbed Toshal, knocked him to the ground, and by the power of his arms, he threw him a distance of 18 miles. In this way, Kamsa made all the wrestlers his servants. That's how Kamsa got these wrestlers. But who were these wrestlers in their previous life? Then we have to go back to the ancient time. In ancient times there was a great sage Uttattiya who lived in Armavati. He had 5 sons as handsome as Kamadev. So Uttattiya was a great sage. He was a Brahmin. And he had his 5 sons, very handsome. Uttattiya himself, he was the son of Brihaspati. So, abandoning their studies, these 5 sons abandoned their studies, their duties as a Brahmin. They abandoned the chanting of mantras. So all the sons, instead of continuing their Brahminical studies, they went to King Bali's wrestling camp, Bali Maharaj. Bali is the head of the demons. So they went to the camp of the demons. And they studied daily wrestling. Instead of chanting their mantras as good Brahmin boys, they wanted to wrestle with Bali. So they were demigod sages, but they went to the demon side. Uttattiya, their father, angrily spoke to his sons who had neglected their Vedic studies. Why do you Brahmin sons neglect your religious duties and engage in wrestling? That's the work of a Kshatriya, not of a Brahmin. So Uttattiya, their father, cursed them. He cursed them to become wrestlers in Bharatvarsha. So by associating with the demons, you will become demons yourself, he said. In this way, Uttattiya's sons were born as wrestlers on the earth, but simply by the touch of Krishna's body, they attained liberation. So, that is the history of these wrestlers. So tomorrow then we will start discussing the next chapter. Krishna kills the elephant with Kuvalaya Pida. It's a short chapter. I think we will finish it in one lesson, as Bojan Prabhu has done, because other side, otherwise it will be 2 very short sessions. The Prabhupada Priya, please.
Hare Krishna Raj. So what was the qualification of these wrestlers to get the mercy of Krishna? Was it just because they had been born in a Brahmin family?
That's a good question. That they got a mercy to fight with Krishna. That it could be because of the desire of Uttatiya, his their father, but how did they become part of Krishna's plan? Krishna needed wrestlers for his pastime, and that's how they came to, to his pastime. It's inconceivable. There may be other reasons, but I don't see them. But it's always a good question. You see all these personalities. We have seen even the washerman got liberation. That how this happened. But it's special. But
I was thinking that, sometimes if there's a devotee in the family, then even though someone else in the family may be, a sinful rascal, as Papa would say, but Krishna, out of affection for the devotee, makes some special arrangement for the purification of those demoniac family members.
Yeah, that's the promise of Prahlad. The Prahlad Maharaj receives from Lord Nrsimhadev 21 generations will be liberated. And how is Krishna going to liberate them? We don't know, but this can very well be one of these cases. Yes. So,
and I was wondering, because it said he has 5 sons, but we have 4 names: Chanura, Mushtik, Shala, and Toshala. Who was the other one?
No, there were 5. To go back to that section. Yeah. Kuta. Yeah, that's the 5th one. There was Chanura, Mustika, Kuta, Chala, and Toshala. These are the 5 sons of King Mahismati. Okay. Yes. So, any other points? So, next time we will discuss killing of this elephant, and then we have a much longer section which discussed how all those who were attending this wrestling match, how they saw Krishna different. They had all a different relationship with Krishna. And that's amazing. That will take us some time. Good, thank you. Then, Mother Kasturi, I have a question. One moment.
Maharaj, just one question. I know it's a little bit ahead of the pastime, but it's just I'm curious. Krishna, when he kills the Kamsa and the wrestlers, and then finally he decides to stay back with Vasudeva, saying that they never have received the parental affection was never shown, and they were missing us. But how did he let go Nanda Maharaj, who was so affectionate for so many years, and although he's a foster parent, but still his affection was no less to the non-parent.
Yeah, that's a good observation. We will discuss that in detail, but in a nutshell, the rasa between the rasa between Nanda Maharaj and Krishna, their relationship, was a different rasa than Krishna and his relationship with Vasudeva and Devaki. That if they would have been put together, it would be basaras, mixed rasa, which are not going together. So Krishna did not want that. He did not want that. Therefore, Ranraj was waiting in the camp. He did not immediately go back, but he was waiting for Krishna for some time. But Krishna will then speak with him. We will see that. But of course, yeah, Nandam, Vasudeva and Devaki. The problem that will occur is that after Krishna has killed Kamsa and this elephant and so on, so Vasudeva and Devaki, they become completely in awe and reverence. And their prema is going down. That was not possible for Nanda and Yasoda, that could not be brought down. But their prema went down, and their motherly love diminished, and Krishna did not like that. He used this yoga maya to pacify them, to accept them again as their sons, and then as we will see that. That's also a very nice pastime, the meeting. And then after that, of course, Krishna will go to the Gurukul. That's the next thing you will hear. But yes, Hare Krishna. So, something else?
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So then we will see tomorrow, same time. Hare Krishna. Jai Prabhupada.